top 3 reasons your ex may have jumped from you straight into a new rebound relationship after the breakup. If you didn't get any grace period all after the breakup and your ex jumped right into something new, I'm going to give you some reasons that I hear on a daily basis why people do them. Do it. None of them make sense. It doesn't work, but it is how people operate. Number 1 is it's usually a person trying to get out of pain. They are trying to escape whatever is bothering them. Most of the time, this has nothing to do with you. This has a lot to do with internal struggles, things going on in their life that they feel overwhelmed by, a lot of emotion, a lot of feeling, and not knowing how to feel better. And so they exit the relationship and jump straight into something new, thinking that this is going to do it. This is going to make them happy. This is going to alleviate all of the pain and problems and trouble and turmoil that their life had going on at the time. Does it work? Temporarily. Everything they were dealing with is still going to come right back and be a part of their life once the newness of this relationship wears off. So that's one of the biggest ones, is to try to get themselves out of pain. Number 2 is once they get out of the relationship, and this is tied to also trying to feel better, they feel as though they have to hurry up and create a brand new life for themselves. Somehow this new life is going to look better than the life they left behind. This is what they're thinking when they exit and get into something new. So they go ahead and try that. They try everything to change up the life they were living. And most people feel like in order to put together this new improved life, it starts with a partnership. And of course, we know that that's not the cornerstone of a good, productive, happy life. But a lot of people feel like this is step 1. So they're going to get into that new relationship, and then they're going to start, quote unquote, trying to live their best life, figuring out, is this better than what I left behind? And again, after a few months pass, when that relationship gets to be a normal everyday relationship, they really have to sit with, is this life really better than what I traded to get here? And a lot of times the answer is no. So as you can see in these cases, it's time that starts to play itself out and get the person sitting in the grief that you are sitting with immediately. And the third is just how people cope. It is how people try to distract themselves and feel like they should be in this position to find this new identity, or a lack of having that identity. So they think that maybe they can take time for themselves. They think that this is a good idea. They're going to figure themselves out. They're going to be in this quiet space, but inevitably they can't sit there because they lost their whole identity in the breakup. They're not a couple anymore, and they feel like they need to be validated by being a couple. If we're a couple, we feel like, well, we can't be all that bad because someone else wants us. So a lot of it is tied here to feeling like, okay, I thought I could be by myself, but this is really hard. I have to look in the mirror. I have to problem solve. And instead, let me just cover up this loss and this grief with somebody else, and then I'll feel good. I have somebody in my life, and this is going to solve all the problems. So inevitably, none of these things solve the problems at hand. Jumping into a brand new relationship and a rebound so quickly, the odds of that working out are very slim. If they do, it's usually someone painted themselves into a corner and they really don't know how to get out of it, because relationships that are started up quickly following the ending of another relationship are going to have a ton of struggles once that newness wears off, once it's not the escape, once it's not so far away from all of the problems that they had in their life. Everything catches up, and those things that they were dealing with at the beginning of this are still going to be present in them a little further down the road. So while you're dealing with the grief head on immediately, really sitting in this grief, they kind of get a chance to skate away from it temporarily. We can only distract for so long. We can't throw things in the way of grief and think we're going to stop it. It's going to catch us at some point, because endings have to be mourned. They really, really do. And so whether the person does it right here and now or a little further down the road, even if the relationship had a ton of trouble, there are going to be so many things that people miss about that relationship. So you see a person jumping straight into something new. It feels like the end of the world. It feels like you never mattered. You didn't mean anything to this person. But as you can see, everything I described have nothing to do with you and everything to do with what they're doing for themselves to distract, to cope, to find comfort, to figure out a way around the problems that they are having, to escape the life that they thought was the root of their problems. So stop taking it so personally. I know it feels like the most personal thing, but it's not. It's all about them and how they choose to push themselves forward. Nothing to do with you. Please don't do it. Don't do it that way, because you have nothing to offer a person a week after you get out of a breakup. You just don't. You just don't. So give yourself a little bit of time to think about what you want to do next. And when you're looking at your person who did this and made you feel like you never mattered, you mattered. You mattered a ton. That relationship was exactly what you thought it was. Just because they decide to do this right after the breakup says nothing about how important you were, the memories you made, the experiences you had, and the connection that you had for a period of time. It's just how they feel like they're going to solve their problems. It's not the way. It's never been the way. It never will be the way. But it's the way so many people operate. You're going to see that a lot more than you think. It's going to feel like a kick in the teeth, but it is how a lot of people do it. Hang in there.